Good afternoon, Shortridge High School community. My name is Jacob Pachter, Assistant Principal at Shortridge, and today I'll be talking about Title I and walking through our Title I presentation. This presentation can be found on our website, which is, if you're watching this video, probably where you all are already. At Shortridge, we believe that leadership, scholarship, and service combine to make a well-rounded student and a well-rounded, engaging, emerging adult. Title I, a federally funded program, supports those efforts at Shortridge and within IPS. So Title I provides federal funding to schools that have that meet certain demographic expectations or demographic requirements, and Shortridge meets them. Almost every school in IPS meets the Title I federal funding requirement, which is a positive thing in the sense that all schools within IPS receive similar funds based on the number of students who attend that school. So Title I is a federally funded program. It uses a formula. It's based on the percentage of students receiving free or reduced lunch costs. It provides funding to schools to help students who are more at risk of falling behind. This is in addition to, in the last year, additional COVID-19 dollars. So federal Title I funds have existed at Shortridge as long as Shortridge has been a Title I school. And then in order to do that, we need a percentage of at least 40% of the student population is eligible for a school-wide program, which is absolutely true at Shortridge. So really, Title I funding, and if you think about the phraseology, Title I, it's like the first most important thing the federal government says in its federal funding formula, and we'll come back in a second, that we should realize that most funding for schools in the state of Indiana comes from the state of Indiana budget. Education funding in the state of Indiana is at least 50% of the budget, and it has been that way for decades. Federal funding supplements what is provided to a local school district or local school from state funding. State funding comes from, however the state chooses to fund it, and then for IPS and Shortridge, it comes from property taxes as well. But Title I is there, and I'll read this part because it's probably the most important piece, is to ensure that all children have a fair, equal, and significant opportunity to obtain a high-quality education. So how we use Title I funds at Shortridge is to meet those requirements, that all children, so we use it to bridge gaps where gaps exist, and we use it as a whole to make sure that all students who attend Shortridge have this significant opportunity and access to obtain what we consider to be a high quality education through the International Baccalaureate program. So Title I funds support our curriculum, and they support our teachers, and as a result of supporting our curriculum and our teachers, they directly support students in order to demonstrate proficiency and then eventually exceed proficiency as measured by the state. Wow, No Child Left Behind. This seems like so long ago, but in almost 2 decades ago, under President George W. Bush, No Child Left Behind was passed at the state level. It requires schools who participate in Title I as a Title I school, and it explains, really most importantly, rights to you as parents for a student who attends Shortridge in this specific example. What happened is that the federal government believed that schools were getting all this funding and then never communicating out to parents on what was happening at the school. If you think about schools, they're a perfect triangle, a right triangle, every side being equal, every angle being equal, where you have students, the school, and then parents who form this triad to really support the students as a fulcrum point of what's going on. And so No Child Left Behind codified and made law that you have access to certain rights as a parent at a school. Specifically at Shortridge, we use these Title I funds to upgrade the entire educational program to provide additional resources that are accessible to every student. So every student at Shortridge is eligible to receive programs and resources funded through Title I outreach. We use Title I funds to serve all students, and we use Title I funds to provide additional assistance as needed. For example, before school or after school tutoring. Title I does require parent participation. All these documents can be found online. A parent involvement policy, a school compact, we're holding our annual Title I meeting, and then the goal is to increase parent involvement. So we know, and research shows, that schools exist and do better the more parents are involved. Obviously, COVID has really made that difficult for everybody, both in terms of coming to school, having childcare provided for you while you work from home or do your best to work from home. But really, as we reach the end of, or a good place in the pandemic, we would really like to engage more families in Shortridge community, whatever that looks like. In order to do that, you can reach out to myself, Jacob Pachter, Jessica Carlson, who is our CP coordinator, or you can call Shortridge directly, 317-226-2810, and we can think about ways that you guys can get involved. In that same capacity, right, on the Shortridge website, you can find our compact. In Spanish, you can find the compact, a parent letter from Principal Thomas, a parent letter in Spanish, and then this presentation. Like I said, the Parent Teacher Association is a great way to get involved. You can also find that on our website community right here, and then click on Parent Teacher Student Association. That'll give you additional ways to get involved. It's got great opportunities to think about how to get involved at Shortridge. And then if we go back to the website really fast, you can see this whole family section right here. So it's got a link to updates. It shows you how to access PowerSchool. It provides some additional resources for families, assistance form, bus information, textbook and educational benefits, community resources, a help finder. I'll just highlight this one really fast. If you're looking to find any sort of help, this help finder helps us put in the zip code. Allows you to find resources that you might need within your zip code, within your community, that can provide supports. The other thing that I think Title I does that's important is it reaffirms to everyone involved that Shortridge High School is a public school, that as a public school, we have a requirement and an essential function to provide duties, public good to the public. That could be providing your child a safe place to get an education. That could also be providing a hub where families can reach out for additional supports. So with that said, our website is a great resource. We're continually updating it. We're continually putting new pieces of information on it for you. Where we do that, you can find it under SHS updates, including, second 9 weeks information. You can also find, key contacts for the administration. And if you're looking for anybody in the staff, you could find a complete staff directory that'll allow you to reach out to anyone via their email. So with that said, this concludes our fall Title I meeting. If you have any questions, feel free to email anyone at Shortridge from that directory, including myself, Jacob Pachter, PACTORJ at myips.org, or spelled with animals and letters. P as in potato, A as in apple, C as in carrot, T as in tarragon, O as in oregano, R as in radish, J as in jello at myips.org. Have a great day, Shortridge. Stay safe, be well.